Hello, hi Judy, hi Josie-Mae. Thank you so much for joining us for this very special In Conversation With series for International Women's Day. I'm really glad you could join us, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about Regeneration Brainery. So first of all, tell us more about it. What is Regeneration Brainery?
I like to call it an academy of young minds. It's the future of the property and construction industry. We are trying to inspire a more diverse range of young people into the property and construction industry, and we do that through a week-long work experience program, which is the Brainery. And it's just got absolute arms and legs, and the demand is massive, and we're reaching far corners of places now, so it's doing really good.
What prompted its conception? What kind of spurred you to kind of realise that there was this need in the property and construction industries?
I think that basically it's that known need for work experience is the start of it, and when we started, that was basically the focus, in giving young people a better quality of work experience, and not just for the young people, for the industries that get involved. It can be pretty naff, if we're honest, and young people tend to go on work experience placements without really any knowledge of why they're there. And then on the flip side, we've got busy professionals. It's usually a bit of a chore to have somebody following them around. So the aim originally was to get this much more high quality for both parties involved. And also the fact that it is so misunderstood, the property and construction industry in general. It's very misunderstood in schools, with careers teachers, and with young people. I think Josie-Mae will probably agree with me, because we've had a conversation, haven't we, Josie, about the course that you're on. It turned out that you possibly aren't studying what it is that you really want to do in the end. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm doing planning and real estate, but I'm looking at doing project management. So even though I've loved the degree at university, it's been great. That specific knowledge that I've been looking for and networking with particular people in the industry, I haven't really been able to do, partly because of the course, but also because of COVID. So Regeneration Brainery has just helped me to kind of network without even realizing I'm networking, and connects me with people and make me actually decide what I'd like to go into, specifically in the industry. So it's good for people at all levels. We're obviously ultimately guiding young people, guiding students that are at school, maybe haven't even chosen their GCSEs yet, but it also benefits us at university as ambassadors, and it benefits the mentors and the companies that are helping out, because they have access to the young talent that's entering the industry. So it's a win-win all around, really.
I think that's really the key, as that's what we've progressed to, isn't it? Is that it's that gap filling and bringing all the parts together. So we have so many industry mentors that want to help. They can see that there's a skills gap. They can see there's a problem with diversity. I mean, we always, like, jokingly, but it's true, say it's a pale, male and stale industry, and it is. Which is a point for my cycle ride. I'm kind of cycling to Mippin, knowing that I'm cycling with a predominantly bunch of male guys obviously, but males in the industry, and very few women are doing it. And again, there's that issue about that in diversity. So you can often be in a networking event, and it is just the absolute epitome of the industry. We also find that we see young girls, Josie's age, coming into the industry as young professionals, but there's a lull in the middle as well. And then maybe people pop up at higher end, but it gets less females. So they're filtering out somewhere. So we just hope to keep this network and keep everybody connected, really. And the thing is, it really is an exciting industry. There really is something for everybody. And that's what we find, and that's what we're trying to promote. And again, with Josie, with what she's studying, it all is not lost, because you come into this industry from all different angles. So it won't matter that Josie's degree isn't definitely in project management, because we'll easily be able to network her into that kind of area. And more than likely it won't necessitate going back to uni or anything, or doing further studies. It is really a networking industry. I think actually that's the good part about it. It's quite good fun.
Absolutely. Josie-Mae, can you just sort of describe a little bit about your journey with Regeneration Brainery, when you got involved and the kind of activities and projects that you've been involved in?
Yeah, so I joined just over a year ago. So I've been doing it just over a year, and it was through the Women in Property organisation. I did their student awards last year, and somebody there recommended that I get in touch with Judi, because I'd done school sessions and school workshops previously at university with a different organisation. So I just jumped at the chance, really. It was actually a workshop on a careers day when I was at sixth form that ultimately made me join the property industry, and kind of sparked that for me. And so I thought this was a good way to give back to the industry, and to hopefully be a bit of a role model for other young girls when they're not sure exactly what they want to do. They probably don't even know that this is an option for them, because I didn't before that careers talk. So just giving back, really, and giving them more opportunities. So I've come in as a student ambassador. We essentially help Judi to run the sessions, do the boot camps, which may be just a one-day boot camp and workshop at a school or a college. And we'll go through some different activities with them, from kind of design and planning to architecture and interior design, the whole way through, and just give them little snippets of the industry from different sectors. And then there's the Braineries, which are a whole week. We'll go on site visits, which has actually really helped me as well, because I haven't been able to do that much work experience with COVID. So I've been able to get on site, and they love to kind of see the actual real world examples of the industry, which you can't get in schools. So yeah, from school sessions through to 1 week workshops, we just kind of dip in and out and help when we can. And it's great because we can do it around our studies. You don't have to go to every single one, you just help as and when you're available.
That's great. I think, you know, the hands-on work experience is really key, because it's not really something that can be taught in a classroom all the time, is it? It's, you know, it's so you know, it's physical, it's emotional, it's, you know, it's really kind of, you know, something that you've got to see and feel. What in your experience is the kind of the challenges for women getting into the property industry? What kind of things have you both been seeing?
I mean, so Judy's probably witnessed and experienced more than I have. With being in the industry for a long time, I've not even really started yet, but I guess that has kind of shown from a younger person's perspective the barriers that we're facing right now in getting into the industry. I think some companies are doing it a lot already. A lot of companies are doing it, but my wariness is going into an interview, going to a company and feeling like I might just be a tick in a box. Just there we go, we've got another woman on board, we've got another woman in the team. You need to feel wanted, you need to get there through merit. And I think that's probably quite a big barrier, is the worry that companies are just hiring you because they need another woman on board. So having companies be more transparent, be more open, be more honest with you, even in the interview process, knowing that a company's got clear action plans, clear targets, frequently going over their salaries, you know, are women and men being paid the same amount for the same job at that company? But then also probably later on, which Judi will probably comment on, is yes, I'm now at the company, I'm enjoying it here, but is that company going to actively support me in getting a higher job role and having a more senior position in the company? Because I think that's a lot of people's aims. I always try and aim high, and I know I'd like to have a senior position at some point, but is the company I'm going to actually support me in getting there? And as I said, that's probably something Judi will know more about.
I think that's a really interesting take on it. I don't think I've ever heard you say that before, Josie-Mae, so I was really interested to know how you looked at it. I think on the flip side, I think women have got a lot to answer for, dare I say, in that, you know, we've got to put ourselves out there. It just makes me smile a little bit about your tick box exercise. A sweeping statement, but I wonder how many men would care whether they were a tick box exercise or not. Sort of like, we genuinely overthink things. We put so much into it, you know, and I don't, you're right about industry. I wonder whether women are suppressed because they're really good at the supportive role. You know, you might get bypassed for promotion just because you're really good at where you are.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of controversial things to say here. I think at the very start of it, obviously, it's that that knowledge and that inspiration to think more than you can be. We see that, as you know, Josie, when we go into the you know, some of the harder to reach schools, the lack of vision for young people in general, male and female, as to where they see themselves in the future. You know, they possibly very rarely travel into the city. They certainly don't understand what there is in the city for them. And then when you peel that back to female roles, because there is such a misunderstanding, I think that, you know, girls could still get siphoned off to the more vocational kind of things, the caring roles, the beauty kind of industries. You know, it's growing, it's big, it's got its place, but, you know, they're not necessarily shown that leadership positions in generally what is considered to be a man's world are available to them. And then I just think, yeah, once females are in, it just needs that support network. It needs, you know, Josie-Mae goes in as an ambassador and she's relative to younger people because she's only a couple of years ahead, whereas I'm not relative to somebody very young. But hopefully some of my younger mentors are relative to Josie-Mae and can sort of keep on saying, you know, hold out there for the better positions and just go for it. Don't worry about your CV because you think you actually can only do 2 things on the job. You know, be proud that you can do 2 of those things and apply for the job. I think there's a lot to be said about females selling themselves short, and we see that with that lack of getting people on boards, women on boards, feeling like they haven't got much to say. So there's definitely that undercurrent, and I think that's a female fix. So definitely us all staying together in that mentoring, generational support that perhaps we're going to lose with all this remote working and things, and people move around a lot more than they did. You know, you used to have somebody that had been in the one job for 20, 30 years. They could probably tell you a thing or two about the role, but that's changing now. So
in your time in the property industry, Judi, have you seen things change? Do you think, you know, what are businesses doing to, you know, to promote, I guess, all young people, but maybe specifically females, or is that too much wishful thinking? Is it not happening?
I don't know. I mean, like for me in the industry, I'm 110, and I don't know that I was really aware that women were discriminated against particularly, but I hear stories of, especially in, you know, large corporates. But then I hear stories of people feeling undervalued all around. Has that come as an outcome of the last 2 years? You know, have we all reassessed what we're looking for in terms of life and career? Anyway, so I think for every bad experience there's a good one. I mean, I'm very much supported by Tim and Adam at Capital and Centric. They don't, you know, that's not seen as an issue being female or not. And actually, I know that both of them have refused talking opportunities at events if females aren't represented there. So I think you can always find the male advocate, but again, I really think that there's a lot we can do as women. To it, and that isn't there in terms of diversity. My general feel is that most people are really willing to see a change, to help drive a change, but mostly it's kind of like, what is it you want me to do? You know, I want to help, and tell me what I can do. And I think we lack coordination. I think that's the missing thing, is the right, this one approach to what we should do, how we should do it, and then let's get doing it. That's my opinion.
Josie-Mae, what would your advice be to young females, not necessarily looking to get into property, because like you said, they might not even know that that's a career option, but I guess at the kind of very early stages of thinking about, you know, their next education move or their next career move, what's your advice?
The best advice I was ever given from my mum and dad actually was, I was thinking, I don't know what I want to do. I had no clue. This was probably going into my A levels. I didn't know what to pick. And they said, choose subjects that you enjoy, do things that you enjoy, and then the career will find you. So my A-levels were geography, economics and philosophy, quite varied, a wide range of subjects, and that was because I knew I'd enjoy them, but they didn't really link to a specific career or a specific profession. So yeah, I'd say just do what you enjoy. Try and get work experience here and there if you can, because that's ultimately the best way to work out if you enjoy it or not. Sitting in a lecture theatre or sitting in a classroom, you don't really see it for what it actually is. So try and get as much work experience as you can in whatever it is that you want to do. And just, especially for girls, just be confident. I had no confidence at all. And I remember somebody once said to me, well, you know, what can women offer in this industry? And I thought to myself, well, why do we specifically have to offer something? You know, there isn't any specific characteristics that women have that make us good for this industry or good for another industry. We're just the same as men, you know. They can offer great things and so can we. We don't need to have, you know, a particular characteristic to be valuable in that industry. We just are. And especially for property, it's so important. It literally shapes cities and shapes where people live. So it needs to accurately reflect the population that are living in those cities, and that is 50-50 men and women. It's people from all backgrounds, it's people from all races and ethnicities, and at the moment it doesn't quite do that. It's getting there, but it doesn't quite do that. So having confidence in yourself to just go there and say, I deserve it, I'm worth it, and I'm going to be there as a role model for other women or for other people of my race or my religion, and just believe that you deserve a place in whatever it is you want to go into.
That's fantastic, Josie-Mae. Thank you for sharing that. And we'll just end sort of on your vision for the future for Regeneration Brainery, Judi. What's next?
My vision is exactly just looking at that screen there. I've been with Pride. Just here in the future, I think that we have to give them a platform, them in general. But you know, so eloquently put, Josie-Mae, and honestly give me goosebumps. But you know, we need to sort of accelerate the process, don't we? We don't need you to get to my age to then be telling everybody what you now know. We need to find a way of just getting that done quicker. Let's get these young people out there. They know the answer. They know how to do it. Let's give them a platform and grow it. And that's basically where I would like to take the Brainery, is just everywhere. So there are no limits. While there's young people like this with ambition and you know, vision, then let's capture it and get it out there and make a difference and help other people do the same.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming and chatting to me in recognition of International Women's Day. It's been fascinating, and I'm sure all our audience will be, you know, so interested to hear about your journey, Josie-Mae, and also hopefully hear about how they can get involved with Regeneration Brainery. So thank you both very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.